All right. Hey, good morning, Broncos. We're just here to talk a little bit about more about our chicks on, I think this is Coop News number 7 or 8. Glad to see you guys, and I hope everybody's doing well. We're just here to talk about our brooders this morning. This is sort of the second stage of raising chicks. The first stage is upstairs in our incubator. And then once they break out of their eggs, we bring them here in the brooders. So these brooders are kept, as you can see, they're two different tanks and they have screens on them because our babies are starting to jump and we don't want them to jump out. So we've got two brooders. Our chicks are getting kind of big. So we're going to separate them just so that way there's not overcrowding. So I think we've got about 18. So we're going to take these guys out and put 9 of them in here. As you can see with our brooders, we've got pine shavings at the bottom. We've got a special chick feed, and this chick feed is it's a starter. And whenever you first start them, it's like 50% starter feed, and then 24 as they get bigger, and then they go into a full crumble with no starter. So right now, we're sort of got pretty healthy big chicks right now, and so they go from an egg to a chick to what's called a pullet, and then to a hen. So we're in the big chick phase. And the two breeds that we have here are Americanas and Rhode Island Reds. Down in the coop, we have a copper Moran rooster, and we've got silver laced Wyandottes. So we've actually got 4 breeds. And then in the incubator up there, we've got a mix of silver Wyandottes and copper Moran. So we've got all kinds of breeds. They're all egg layers. These guys will lay an egg once every 24 hours if fed right, water is fresh, and they're given calcium. So these guys are big egg producers. And we have our one feeding station that's raised up a little bit, and then we have our freshwater station for them, so that way they can grab whenever they want. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to switch them out, and they're going to share this lamp. We're really lucky right now that it's springtime, so we don't have to have 2 lamps on them. One is sufficient because it gets down to maybe like 50, which isn't too bad for a big chick. And so this one lamp will heat both brooders whenever we scoot them closer. So right now we're going to try, Ollie, if you'll get on that side of the tank over there. Right now we're going to take 9 of these guys, and whenever you grab them, you want to grab them all the way with their wings and everything, so that way they don't flap and hurt themselves, because they're still pretty fragile guys. So, and you just want to lay them down pretty easy. So we got 1, 2, 3, and these guys are pretty easy just because they've been handled a lot. 4, 5. That wasn't a good one. 6, 7, 8, and our last one, 9. That way they've got a little bit more space. Some of them are a little bit. Oops, there we go. All right, so you can see a little of them are more chill than others. So we'll leave that hanging off there. We'll cover this up here. Squeeze these 2 brooders together, and we're probably going to have to raise the brooder lamp up just a little bit so that way it gets into that other tank. But like I said, it being springtime, it's not too bad. If you're going to raise chicks, this is actually a really nice time of year to do that, because the temperature goes up, and as the temperature goes up, it's a lot easier to raise them. It doesn't cost as much because this brooder, it's kind of like a little heater that can it costs you a little bit of money to run it, but in the springtime you can go a little bit easier, and as long as all of them are pretty warmed up, they'll cuddle together at night and stay warm, and so they should be good. And these are our 2 brooders. When these guys get big enough, they're going to go down to the coop, but they'll be separated out. They'll still be separated out a little bit inside of the coop for just a few weeks. And then the eggs that hatch, which are going to hatch in probably about, I think we've got 16 more days in the incubator, they're going to come down in this brooder And so the cycle keeps going and going and going. So that way you constantly have a good group of laying eggs or laying hens for your eggs. So that's it from Coop News this afternoon. So I hope you guys are having a good time, and we'll see you next time we do Coop News. Adios.